first episode of the Sooner Saloon. I'm Taylor Reed. This is my brother, Nick Reed. This is our buddy, Emerson Campbell. Been friends for a while. We're, like I said, this is our first episode. Nick, can you kind of tell us a little bit behind why you're a Sooner fan? And
yeah, for sure. I was really born into it. My dad's from Oklahoma. He raised us
our dad's from Oklahoma.
Correct. He raised us right, being Oklahoma fans. So at a very young age, I've always loved to watch Oklahoma, and it's rubbed off on everybody else as well.
There we go. And Emerson, on him being an OU fan, it kind of ties into me and Nick as well. Emerson, why are you an Oklahoma fan?
Hey, thanks for bringing me in, Taylor. So I didn't really watch football or care about it until I got into middle school and met Taylor. And obviously he was a huge Oklahoma fan. So I started watching Oklahoma football with him during the 2008 season when Sam Bradford won the Heisman and they lost to Florida in the national championship. And I've been in love with them ever since. And they've taken me to a lot of games. And it's just been an amazing environment. And, it helps to like someone when they're good. But
there we go.
Oklahoma's.
Emerson, I do want to say this. Wasn't there a point in time that you stopped drinking Gatorade and switched over to Powerade specifically because Florida Gators invented Gatorade? Was that true?
Emerson was a big Tim Tebow fan, by the way.
No, Nick, yes, that is true. And yeah, let me tell you, I love Tim Tebow. I have a fat head of Tim Tebow in my basement. But yeah, I hated Florida so much after the 2008 national championship loss that I swore off Gatorade. I boycotted it because I saw in their commercial that it was created at the University of Florida. And ever since then, I don't think I've had a Gatorade since, going on 13 years.
So, oh, my gosh. Okay.
That's
fair enough.
Commitment.
There you go. It absolutely is. That is a true OU fan right there, guys, whoever's watching this. Honestly, it kind of started off with me. Like Nick said, our dad, he was an OU fan for a while. He's from Oklahoma. We're actually all from Kansas. All three of us are from Kansas.
Yep.
Yeah, we're living here in Central Kansas. Emerson's up in the Kansas City area right now. That's why he's on this the video part. Growing up, I was an OU fan early elementary school. Oklahoma would when they would drop a game here and there, I would just get so pissed off and everybody would make fun of me. And, I was the only OU fan. Everybody was a bunch of Kansas and Kansas State fans. You got a couple of Okie State fans here and there. But, just growing up, it kind of grew. And, we kind of all of our friends kind of moved over to OU fans from being around us. Look at Emerson here. So, yeah, absolutely. It was fun.
Specifically, though, after every OU loss, so I'm going to give an example, BYU, you would break every couch seat you'd be sitting in that game.
Was a freshman in high school, and I did break the what was it, on the couch when they lost to BYU?
You recline it up, and the part that reclines up, the little footrest,
you
kicked it in.
And I broke it in half. I got in trouble. I was like 13 or 14. That's when we lost. That was when we were.
I remember that.
That was our first 4 games. Our first loss was to BYU, was 14-13 in Arlington. The second game they shut out like Chattanooga or I think it was Chattanooga. It was a shutout. They had Landry Jones and they looked good. The third game they shut somebody else out. It was another shutout, I think. And then their fourth game they lost by another point to Miami.
Yep.
And then their fifth game, they played Baylor and only gave up. Sorry, we're getting off topic here, fellas.
Well, you lose Sam Bradford. And
he came back.
Gresham
gets
Jermaine Gresham.
ACL in the preseason.
He did.
In the offseason.
Mm-hmm. He did. And Bradford actually
Bradford came back for the Texas game.
He did.
And then he got
read. He almost won.
He lost by a field goal.
It was like we lost by 3 or something like that. Sorry, we watched that together. We were pretty pissed off about that one. They went to the national season too. Stupid. We did win the Sun Bowl against Stanford and Toby Gerhardt. So
hey, Gerald McCoy's still in the league. He just got traded to to the Raiders. So
there we go.
Fuck the Raiders.
All righty.
Yeah.
Sorry. Okay. All right. So 2020 recap. 2020, the 2020 football season was kind of different from most football seasons.
Right.
It wasn't your traditional football season. You got opt-outs. You got 20% capacity in the stadium, with all that COVID going on and whatnot. When it comes to the 2020 season, what stood out to you guys? And I know it started rough with those 2 back-to-back losses, which we haven't had since, I believe, 1999. Fact checkers back there, Adam and Gabe, you guys can look that up for me. I think it was 1999 last time Oklahoma lost 2 back-to-back games, Bob Stoops' first year. Anyway, Nick, we'll start with you.
I will say in that period when we lost to K-State and Iowa State, we had big leads in those games.
Absolutely.
I believe it was like 17-point leads. But against Texas, Spencer Rattler gets benched. He comes out second half and kind of shows his potential there. In the rest of the season, especially when we got Ramondre Stevenson and Ronnie Perkins back, it was a completely different team. They had
fact checkers, 1999. Sorry not to interrupt you.
Go ahead.
Fellas, 1999 was the last time I was right. Go ahead, Nick. Sorry.
Anyways, you get Ramondre and you get Ronnie Perkins back. And I think that's what Rattler needed. He needed a good run game. And really you could just tell. And the defense was flying around. That's going to be huge for this upcoming season. But just the way they played, specifically from Texas Tech on, we go on for a 6-game win streak in the Big 12, get a rematch against Iowa State, and then beat the brakes off of Florida. And Emerson, I know you love that.
Absolutely.
We all love that.
Absolutely. Side note that those white alternate jerseys, we are undefeated in those, by the way. Just telling you. And Iowa State's black uniforms is the first loss in them. So, Emerson, we'll go with you.
Yeah, so I think the thing that stood out to me the most last year, along with the development of Spencer Rattler, like Nick alluded to earlier, was the progression of the defense. And I think that the defense from 2019 going into the 2020 season, even without the spring practice due to COVID and all of those restrictions, the defense, I think, took its biggest leap yet under Alex Grinch. And it's almost what you would expect with Grinch going into his 3rd year. And he's finally got the guys that he wanted for the most part in most positions. Yes, the secondary was still a little shaky through points, but the defensive line just took over. Nick Bonito, having basically been told by Alex Grinch, hey, you're not going to play for a whole year and you're just going to live in the weight room and put on muscle. And then he comes out and he has a fantastic season, has 9 sacks. Isaiah Thomas has a breakout year at edge, has 8.5 sacks, and no one's even talking about him, which is just ridiculous. I think he's severely underrated, and Alex Grinch said he should be the Big 12 Defensive Player of the Year last year. But Isaiah Thomas breaks out, and people forget he was as clutch as you can be as a defensive end in the Iowa State game. He forces a fumble on a 3rd and long against Iowa when Iowa State is marching down the field and Oklahoma is clinging to a narrow lead. I can't remember what the score was, but Isaiah Thomas forces a fumble and has a great play, and then the offense squanders it. So I think the defensive line made a huge improvement, and then when you could see when Ronnie Perkins comes in to the picture, and the entire defense just comes to life even more. And that's around the same time Perrion Winfrey starts to break out, and he was a player that I loved coming out of JUCO, and I was high on him from the moment he stepped on campus, and I'm so happy he's doing extremely well. And and then you have, like, the depth is just insane. You have LaRon Stokes, 2019 Defensive Newcomer of the Year. You have Jalen Redmond, who's probably one of the most explosive athletes on the team, and he's completely healthy now, which has been something that's been
wasn't it 2017 the last time he's gotten in and taken a snap?
He didn't play the 2020 season. He opted out. And then 2019, I think, he missed like the second half of the season because of a shoulder injury, if I remember correctly. I'm not entirely sure. But yeah, so this is going to be his first time getting serious playing time in a long time, or even being back on the field in a year. And the coaches have said that he looks amazing. You have Josh Ellison, who also came in with Perrion Winfrey from the JUCO class, from the JUCO ranks, who's emerging as another reliable player. You have Jordan Kelly, who flashed at times. I mean, the defensive depth along the defensive line and linebackers as well. It's just going to be astounding, and it's going to overwhelm offensive lines in the Big 12.
Absolutely. And, with what you're saying, to move into the next topic that actually, goes good with this one. So with the rankings coming out, Oklahoma number 2 in the AP poll, which obviously doesn't mean anything. It's what, it's the last rankings at the end of the year, the top 4, that's what matters. Why are they high on the Sooners this year? Why do you guys think that? Nick, I'll start with you.
Last year, I think Rattler wasn't really a leader to the offense. He was, but he was a freshman. And this year, he's got a year under his belt. And I'm expecting that offense to be back how it was, kind of 2017, 2018, maybe a 2016 year. But
Yes.
Especially, I want to see these wide receivers really break out. I believe we had 7 drop touchdown passes within the season.
I think it was 9. Led the country.
9? Was it 9 or 7? Do we know?
Either way,
Anyway,
It doesn't matter.
either way,
a lot.
these receivers need to step up. I want to see Jaden Hazelwood step up. I know he had a torn ACL last year, but he made a couple of big catches. He did against Iowa State. There was like 3 guys on him, made a crazy catch. He had a one-handed catch in the spring game as well. But I want to see Jaden Hazelwood step up. I want to see Theo Weiss step up. And I want to see a little bit more from Austin Stogner as well. I think he's kind of a guy that has, Mark Andrews type expectations.
Absolutely.
We also have some guys coming in, and we got Eric Gray from the transfer portal. We also got Wanye Morris, which is a 5-star guy. Key Lawrence, which is a 4-star guy. He's a safety. All 3 of those guys coming from Tennessee. We also got Mike Woods, who I believe is a very physical receiver, and I think he's got some good speed to go with that. But I'm really looking for – we also lose Charleston Rambo to Miami in the transfer portal. We lost TJ Pledger as well. But I'm really looking for this offense to be back in the top 5 offenses in the country.
Absolutely. Emerson, let's hear your take on it.
Yeah, so obviously the Sooners come in to the 2021 season with a lot of hype, as they should. As Nick alluded to, they filled a lot of the holes that were left with the NFL draft and people graduating with the transfer portal. You have Kennedy Brooks coming back from opting out last year, and this guy averages 7.5 yards a carry, right? And he's on pace to be the second running back in Oklahoma history, or the first running back in Oklahoma history to have 3 consecutive 1,000-yard rushing seasons. So between the skill positions, I'm not worried about. You have Marvin Mims, who is the best freshman, who had the best freshman wide receiver campaign of any Sooner ever, including CeeDee Lamb. Yes, folks, he had more receiving touchdowns as a freshman than CeeDee Lamb did in a compressed schedule with no spring camp, coming in as a freshman, all right? Marvin Mims is that dude. Jaden Hazelwood, completely healthy. He looks to take a huge step and be that 5-star that everyone talks about. Theo Weiss, he also a highly touted fringe 5-star player that came in clutch for Oklahoma at points during the season. You go back to the Texas game, and he had a lot of clutch moments on 3rd down when they needed it. So if he can break out and avoid the drops, he'll be fine. Like you said, Mike Woods, looks like a freaking bodybuilder, man. He's got washboard abs. If you look at his film in Arkansas, he's physical off the line. He's got deep threat speed. He's sure-handed. The skill positions are going to be okay as long as running back depth doesn't get any worse than it already is. And that's an issue that we need to talk about later. And then if you look at the defense, like I talked about with the defensive line and the linebackers, they have the depth. The question there is the secondary and how well they can perform. And who's going to be the starters along, I think cornerbacks are pretty much locked up with Woody Washington and DJ Graham with how they played last year. But at nickel, and then you could even argue one of the two safety positions, there's question marks as to who's going to start there. And I think the biggest potential weakness for the Oklahoma Sooners coming into the season, though, is the offensive line. And I remember the only other time Bill Bedenbaugh this offseason was praising the offensive line about a month ago. And the only other time he's done that was last year. And what was the biggest weakness of the offense last year, especially early in the season, was the running game and offensive line play. So I don't know how I feel about Bill Bedenbaugh praising the offensive line, again, for the second consecutive year, especially when they have one of the all-time greatest centers to ever play the game leaving to the Kansas City Chiefs.
Fair enough. Okay. So, and that's going to tie into the last, second to last question here I have for you guys. So it seems like every single damn year, okay, every year, Oklahoma drops a game, okay? They drop a game to somebody you don't expect it, okay? Example, okay, losing to Iowa State a few years ago at home in our all-red jerseys, okay? Didn't see that coming. Was it 38-31? Nick, you went to that game?
I was there.
Okay. So with that being said, okay, with the schedule they got coming up.
Very depressing.
What?
Just want to let you guys know that.
Fair enough. What game, okay, and we got to keep these answers a little bit shorter this time, fellas, okay? What game do you possibly see as a trap game for Oklahoma this year, and why? Nick, go ahead. Like I said, make sure you keep these answers a little bit shorter this time. No biggie,
Okay.
No biggie.
Okay. The game I'm circling is definitely Iowa State. They got all of their offensive linemen coming back. Pretty much everybody on defense coming back.
But my thing is, if Oklahoma, like preseason, so you got Iowa State at number 7, okay? And we know they're loaded. They got everybody coming back. All respect to Iowa State, whatever. You can predict Oklahoma losing them realistically in the preseason. But what I'm saying is, what like 50%, 70% team do you see Oklahoma dropping to?
The trap game.
Like a Baylor, like a TCU, like a –
Well, go with the team we've lost to 2 years straight. Go with Kansas State. We're on the road.
K-State
We're
this year,
playing in Manhattan, and that's a tough crowd to be around,
It is.
especially with the stadiums being maxed out this season.
And they're going to be pissed since Oklahoma's they're leaving.
Oh yeah,
They're a little mad. They're a little antsy.
Everyone's going to be pissed in the Big 12 this year because of that.
Yeah, I think you got K-State. Is that who you're circling?
that's who I'm circling. I mean, you got to get past K-State. That's the team we haven't been able to get past within the past 2 seasons. And
Okay,
they've given us problems.
okay, Emerson. What game are you looking at? Iowa State, cool, whatever. But besides that one, what do you when you look at it? It gives you a little.
See, the game that I'm worried about is West Virginia, and I'm going to tell you why. Yes, they lose their best defensive lineman in the older Sills brother to the NFL, but the younger brother is still there, and he's still a dude. Their defense was statistically best in the country last year, and yes, you can argue that they didn't play Oklahoma, but they played Iowa State, they played Texas, they played TCU, they played all the other offenses that the Big 12 historically, maybe not so much recently, but historically is known for putting up points. So, and if you think about last year, they obviously didn't play West Virginia. That was the one game that got canceled last year. So, and it's also easy to overlook because it's the week before the K-State game. And the K-State game is the week before Texas. It's so easy to overlook a West Virginia game when you have the team that's beaten you twice in a row coming that you're going to, and then you have your biggest rivalry of the season the week after that. I think that West Virginia is the easiest game to overlook. They're the team that's forgotten about in the Big 12. They have an established running game that's getting even better with their new coach, and I think that they could shock Oklahoma, especially early in the season.
All right, fair enough. So with that being said, 3 quick answers, 3 expectations for the Tulane game. Nick, quick. 3 things you want to see.
I want to see defense play lights out.
Okay.
I want to see.
Second one.
I want to see a consistent run game.
Okay. Third.
Early on in the year, last year it wasn't there, so this
Okay.
year I want to see that. Third, let's just go with special teams. Let's go with kicking game. Let's be polished up on that. Let's be able to hit our field goals.
Cool. Emerson, 3 things, fast, go.
Give me 2 turnovers by the speed D
Okay.
against this Tulane team. I
Okay.
know they don't throw the ball a lot, but it can happen. Force a fumble, let's go.
Okay.
Second thing, I want to see the offensive line dominate.
Okay.
They have the better players. They have the better athletes. I don't care if they don't know the scheme that well. If they're still breaking in a bunch of freshmen, they need to get after it and put some people in the dirt.
Okay.
Third thing, I want to see a complete coaching performance from Lincoln Riley. I don't want him to take his foot off the gas like he's been,
That is a
criticized
big
for in the
point.
past.
Yes.
And I know it's just Tulane, so they could probably put up 60 points by the end of the third quarter. But Lincoln Riley needs to stay aggressive, and he needs to, if anything, at least get his backups reps and keep the score going up.
All righty. So here's what we're going to do, fellas. We're going to take a quick break real quick. Okay. Quick break. And right after the break, what we're going to do is we're going to do predictions, score predictions for the Tulane game. And we got a couple Big 12 games coming up. Alrighty, fellas, we're back. We're going to wrap this up real quick with a couple of some picks. We're going to do some Big 12 picks. We're going to do some national picks. Right now, we have Stanford at Kansas State this weekend. It's going to be played at Kansas State. I'm going to start with Nick. Nick, who you got for that?
Give me Kansas State. They're at home.
All right.
I think Skylar Thompson and Deuce Vaughn are going to have themselves a day.
Okay. What? By how much did you say that? Or
Give me Kansas State by 6.
Okay. And what we're doing here, we're going to pick these games based on maybe how much, not necessarily a exact score, but we'll go by how much. So Emerson, what do you got?
Red. Yeah, I'm going to agree with Nick here. I'm going with K-State.
Okay.
Stanford's pretty, middle of the pack in a conference that's worse than the Big 12, in my opinion. Chris Kleiman's a really good coach. He's a national championship coach at North Dakota State, or wherever he was at, something like that. And K-State's a really disciplined football team, and like you said, Skylar Thompson's healthy, and he beat Oklahoma last year, and Deuce Vaughn is that dude. So.
Okay, cool. Sounds good. So we got K-State, Nick and Emerson. Emerson, how much does K-State win by?
Oh yeah, sorry. I'm gonna go K-State by 9.
By 9? Okay, fair enough.
By 9, 2 possessions.
All righty, and I'm going to go K-State as well. I think home field advantage. They usually play teams like this toe-to-toe. It just depends if they can finish this year most of the time. K-State will have leads on these teams, and they will drop them. But I think with the experience they got with this coach, his third year in, is this third year? Is this K-State's coach third year?
I want to say
Yes.
2-0
Third or fourth.
Might be wrong. Fact checkers, that's another one for you. Let me know what year the K-State head coach is in. So I'm gonna go K-State. Next one on the list, Big 12 matchup. It's gonna be Virginia at Maryland. Side note: Maryland last 2 games against Texas is 2-0, so they do like to beat up on Big 12 teams.
West Virginia versus Maryland.
Yes, West Virginia at Maryland. What do you got, Nick?
Maryland usually plays the Big 12 really good on non-conference. So with that being said, I'm going to go Maryland, and I'm going to go by 7.
Maryland. All righty. So Nick has Maryland. All righty. You said by 7?
Yep.
All righty. Emerson, what do you got? West Virginia at Maryland.
I'm going to disagree with Nick. I'm going to be a Big 12 homer, I guess. I'm going to go with West Virginia. I think their running game is established, and I think it's only going to get better from last year.
Okay,
like I said,
what do you got West Virginia by?
I'm going to keep it close. I'm going to say 4.
By 4?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Sounds good. Let's see here. We got next one here, Texas Tech at Houston. Texas Tech at Houston. Going to be played at Houston. Nick, what do you got?
I'm going to stick with Big 12 this time. I'm going to go Texas Tech. Texas Tech by 3. It's going to be a close game.
By 3. Okay. Emerson, what do you got?
I'm disagreeing with Nick on this one as well. I'm gonna give it to Houston. I think Houston's got more talent, and they've probably done better recruiting in the state of Texas than Texas Tech. Give me Houston by 3.
Okay, all righty. And just to backtrack on that, I totally forgot. Sorry, I'm human. I'm actually going to go with the last game here, West Virginia, Maryland. I'm going to go West Virginia. Okay, West Virginia, Big 12, all the way. This next one here, Texas Tech at Houston. It's a toss-up. I'm not going to lie, fellas. I don't know a whole lot about Texas Tech and Houston, so I don't know. So I'm going to go Texas Tech just because of the Big 12. That's the only reason why I'm picking them. So I'm going to go Texas Tech all the way, Big 12. Cool. Okay. Next one, Northern Iowa at Iowa State. What do you got, Nick?
I got Iowa State by a landslide.
Okay.
They don't really play well beginning of the year, but I think this year's different for Iowa State.
Okay. Some maturity.
Of course. I think Breece Hall and Brock Purdy are going to have themselves a fantastic day. And I'm going to say Iowa State by at least 17, at least.
Okay. Okay. Fair enough. I like it. Emerson, what do you got?
I'm going to agree with Nick as far as Iowa State getting a pretty good win pretty comfortable win against Northern Iowa. Like you said, they got everyone coming back. But they do start slow, so I'm only going to pick Iowa State by 10. They always struggle in the beginning of the year, so I don't think they'll have their cleanest game.
Okay, cool. I'm going to go Iowa State as well. I'm going to go Iowa State. I'm going to say it's going to be 17 or less. I don't know, the early season struggles Iowa State has. Who knows? They might be able to pick that up this year. I don't know. I don't know a whole lot about Iowa State. I just know they got a bunch of people coming back, and I think they're going to be good this year. Not going to lie. Iowa State, 17 or less. That's what I say.
Vegas didn't even give this game a spread. There's not even odds on this game. So, yeah, I don't think it's going to be
fair enough.
A big surprise if Iowa State wins.
Okay, so we got our last Big 12 game here we're going to go over. We got number 23, Louisiana at number – I'm cheating here. I got to look at the rankings of the because I really don't know Texas. 21. Number 23, Louisiana at number 21, Texas. Nick, what do you got?
I think it's going to be a really close game.
Okay, I agree.
I'm gonna go with Texas.
Okay,
I'm gonna go with the running game takes over. I'm gonna say Bijan Robinson is gonna really solidify himself as being a Heisman type kind of a player. So I'm gonna go Texas. I'm gonna go Texas by 6.
Texas by 6. Okay. Emerson, what do you got? You got number 23 Louisiana, number 21 Texas. What do you got?
I'm taking Texas on this one. I'm taking Louisiana on this one. I have no faith in Texas. I have no faith in Texas. They have a brand new coach. He can't even pick the right quarterback to start. They got Card starting, and Hudson was the one that balled out in the game against Colorado last year to end the season. So Sark already seems like he doesn't know what he's doing. Brand new coordinators, and Louisiana beat Iowa State last year, smoked them by like 14 points. And they're explosive on special teams. They have a defense that can fly around. I'm going with Louisiana.
Side note, how do you think Texas does in Big 12, Emerson, this year?
I mean, probably middle of the pack like they always do. Everyone's projecting them to be third best in the Big 12. I could easily see them falling to number 5 in the Big 12.
Okay.
Behind TCU and Oklahoma State.
Okay, cool.
As well as Iowa State and Oklahoma, obviously. So.
Sounds good. Okay, we got a couple games nationally. These aren't Big 12 games. These are going to be national games. Actually, matter for now. It's kind of hard to pick some teams preseason because every year you got a couple teams that work their way up in the rankings, kind of like on NCAA on the dynasty mode. There, you got a Kansas number 2 back in 2007.
Oh, dude, some of the younger generation might not know what you're talking about.
There you go, Gabe. Gabe, our audio guy, he's a Kansas fan, so he likes Oklahoma. He's repping KU Jayhawks all day.
KU football.
KU. There you go. Not he
KU. He's an Oklahoma basketball fan.
Fun fact about Gabe: he is a specific Kansas football fan. There you go. So, alrighty. National games. We got number 10 North.
Hey, they got their only winnable game this year against South Dakota.
Is that first week? When is that?
Yeah, KU South Dakota. That's probably going to be their only winnable game.
Fair enough. Okay. So we got number 10 North Carolina at Virginia Tech. Number 10 North Carolina at Virginia Tech. Mac Brown on the squad. Nick, who you got?
Mac Brown's done an absolute fantastic job.
Absolutely, I agree.
North Carolina.
Honestly, I do like Mac Brown. I really do. Got a lot of respect for him.
Gotta love the man, Sam Howell, as well. I got North Carolina for sure.
Cool.
I think it's going to be a somewhat close game, though. I think North Carolina pulls away in the fourth quarter. Okay. I'm going to say North Carolina by 10 points.
Okay, cool. Emerson, what do you got?
I'm going to go with Nick on this one. North Carolina, they're a really good squad. Obviously, they lose their 2 running backs. Their 2 really good running backs to the NFL last year. So it's going to be interesting to see how that run game develops and how much they're going to rely on Sam Howell, because Virginia Tech does have a pretty good defense usually. So yeah. I think that could be an interesting matchup. I think that's going to be the matchup to look at when North Carolina has the ball. I don't think they're going to win by that much. Give me North Carolina by 6.
North Carolina by 6. Okay. So next one on the slate is going to be number 5 Georgia versus number 3 Clemson. Side note: this is going to be played in Charlotte, I believe. College game day is going to be there. Nick, what do you got? Number 5 Georgia versus number 3 Clemson.
This is one that's going to be tight the whole game. You could go either way on this pick. I think it's flip of a coin, either team. But I'm going to have to go Georgia on this one.
Georgia. Nick's going to go with Georgia.
I'm going to go Georgia. I think
Nick is going to go Georgia.
And the recruiting has been amazing after the last couple of years here. But I'm going to go Georgia by 3.
3 points. Okay. All righty. You got it right there. Emerson, what do you got? I know you're a Georgia Bulldogs fan.
Talk about a game I couldn't care less about. Probably 2 of my top 10 most hated teams in college football. And yeah, there's probably a lot of recency bias to go along with that. Really, if the game just gets canceled and they don't play, that'd be great. That'd be the best case scenario. But no, I'm going to go with Clemson on this one. I'm going to disagree with Nick. I think they're both 2 really talented squads breaking in relatively new quarterbacks. I think Clemson has the edge at quarterback, and they have the edge at coaching. I think Dabo Swinney's a much better coach than Kirby Smart. And, I mean, the talent on the field is pretty dead even as far as their recruiting classes. So give me the better coach with Dabo. I think it's going to be a close game, though. Clemson by 4.
Okay. And I'm getting a little carried away here. Sorry, I'm human. It happens. Did I make a pick on the Texas game? Everybody here watching,
so.
maybe just rewind this and figure out what I did, but we're doing this as we go. Did I make a pick on the Texas game? Did I do that?
I don't think so.
Okay, well, I'm going to go Texas. I'm going to go Texas in a sloppy, excuse my language, shitty win. I'm going to go Texas. Okay. I didn't pick. Did I pick?
I don't think you picked one for North Carolina.
Did I? Okay. Backtracking here. Sorry, we're not called the Game Nation. We're a bunch of average Joes in a bar doing this. So I'm going to go North Carolina in that last one, North Carolina, Virginia Tech. The reason why I'm going North Carolina is, honestly, I think North Carolina may make a run at the playoff this year. I really think they can, and I really think they have the chance to beat Clemson this year. I really think this could be their year, if not the year after. So we'll see. Like I said, Mac Brown and all them, I'm telling you. I got North Carolina. I got North Carolina by 14. That's what I'm at.
Okay.
So Clemson and Georgia. I'm gonna have to go with Emerson on this one and pick Clemson. I think the coaching experience, on paper, there's not a whole lot separating these two. But like I said, I got Clemson. I got Clemson by 6 or 7. One possession game. Clemson. Who knows? So we got 2 more games to pick here. Second to last, we got number 1 Alabama versus number 14 Miami. And this is going to be played in Atlanta, where the good old LSU Tigers put a whooping on Oklahoma, I believe. Terrible game. Nick, what do you got?
It's not going to be a good game to watch in the second half.
Think so?
Yes.
Okay.
I mean, you look at what Bama's done just over the past decade.
It's a dynasty mode.
It's insane. I don't think Miami competes in the second half. So that being said, Bama, give me Bama by 17 points, at least.
And with that being said, honestly, I think, not to interrupt Emerson on his turn, and I'm only doing this because I freaking forget. I'm going to have to agree with Nick. Every time I watch Alabama play a first week game against a good team, I'm praying and hoping. I'm hoping that Alabama loses. Guess what? It's always an ass whooping. I got Alabama big. I'm sorry. I got respect for Miami, whatever. I don't got a whole lot against Miami. I think Alabama's gonna lay the whooping down on them. So I got Alabama by at least 17 points. So Emerson, what do you got?
Yeah, I'm going to pick Bama on this one as well. I don't think it's going to be as lopsided as you guys do.
Okay.
I mean, Bama's breaking in a brand new quarterback. They've lost 3 wide receivers, their entire wide receiver core to the NFL in the last 2 years. They lost a lot of offensive linemen. That defense is going to be good, but De'Aaron King had a really good season last year before he went down with injury. So, they add Charleston Rambo, so they have some threats on offense. I think that I'm going to take Alabama. I'm going to take Alabama by 10. They get a comfortable lead, and Miami might make it interesting towards the end, but Bama by 10.
Okay, fair enough. All these Miami fans, if there's anybody even going to be watching our first episode, they feel disrespected. So that doesn't matter because Miami fans aren't playing the game. The players are.
I really do want Miami to win, though. I am tired of Alabama.
I do too, for sure. Exactly. So for everybody watching this as a Miami fan, and they think that we're just, we're dogging on them, I hope you guys beat the brakes off Alabama. I can't stand Alabama.
True.
Okay? I'm hoping Miami wins. I'm hoping we're all 3 wrong, but unfortunately, reality. So anybody?
Charleston Rambo could break out, dude. He could have 3 tutties, dude. 150 yards. Let's go.
Anybody got anything to add to that one? Anything before we move on? Nothing.
I hope Charleston Rambo breaks out from Miami. I want the best for Charleston Rambo.
Yeah, absolutely. All day. Absolutely.
For sure.
Okay, our last one here, other than OU, is going to be number 16 LSU at UCLA. And with that being said, UCLA, they played one game, and it was against Hawaii. Mm-hmm. It's hard to judge teams based off of week 1. Hawaii looked absolutely horrible. UCLA looked really good. Like I said, it was week 1. They do look like a complete different team than what we've seen in the past with UCLA. Nick, what do you got with number 16 LSU at UCLA? What do you got?
I mean, kind of what you said against Hawaii. They looked very polished for week 1.
Absolutely.
They did not look like the UCLA that we played back in 2019.
Oh, yeah. I agree.
I think it's going to be a closer game than what people expect. I'm going to take LSU on this, but I think it's going to be
LSU.
I think it's going to be roughly 7 to 10 points on that spread.
Okay. Sounds good. Emerson, what do you got? LSU, UCLA in the Rose Bowl. What do you got?
I'm going to take UCLA on this one. Yeah, UCLA's been down the last 2 years, but Chip Kelly has finally got his guys in the upperclassmen status. They're juniors, and like you said, I mean, they looked really polished week 1, which is not something you see from even a lot of top 25 teams, let alone an unranked team in a conference that's kind of underrated. That's disregarded at some points. And I think LSU, they've got so many things going on that entire program is under allegation after allegation. There's going to be a lot of distractions for this game. They got to travel all the way to the West Coast. And, I mean, they don't have a quarterback figured out. I don't know who LSU's quarterback is going to be. And their defense looked susceptible last year. I mean, I think UCLA's timing and chemistry looks good. So give me UCLA in a tight game. Give me UCLA by 3.
By 3? 3 points?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna have to agree with Emerson.
You guys are underestimating.
Thank you.
Honestly, I'm not gonna lie.
We are shitting on Nick today.
LSU. I am. I'm gonna go UCLA. I'm gonna go UCLA by 9. I'm gonna go UCLA.
Wow.
Last one here: Oklahoma versus Tulane. This is a game we're looking out for as OU fans, obviously, because we're at the Sooner Saloon here. Nick, what do you got? OU versus UCLA, OU versus Tulane at Tulane. What do you got?
For now.
I'm gonna go. I'm expecting to see OU fly around making plays all day long.
All right.
Second string guys making plays all day long.
Okay.
So I'm gonna go Oklahoma 66 to 10.
Specific score. This is going to be a replay of the 2007 North Texas and Oklahoma with Sam Bradford's freshman year. 79 to 10.
66.
What he's called.
66.
Same thing. So might as well be 79 to 10. Emerson, go ahead.
Okay. I don't think Oklahoma's offense is going to be clicking that well game 1. And
Okay.
you also got to think Tulane, they run like a veer wishbone kind of thing. So think about kind of similar to Army in 2018, and we all remember how that game went with Kyler Murray. If the defense
made to beat teams like Oklahoma.
Yeah. I think we won't see as nerve-wracking of a performance as that. I think Oklahoma's defensive line is going to handle Tulane's offensive line, and they're going to struggle to get any yards on the ground, and they're going to make them throw it, which I don't think Tulane is going to be very comfortable doing. So honestly, if Oklahoma's defense can, like Nick said, under 10 points, I'm going to be happy with that. And then offense, I think they can easily put up 45 to 10. That's what I'm going with.
45-10. Okay. I got Oklahoma by 6 touchdowns. That's what I got. So I'm not going to give you a specific score, whatever. That's what these guys do. I got Oklahoma by 6 touchdowns. So with that being said, wrap it all up. 4 teams real quick, playoff, last thing. Nick, who you got at the end of the season, the playoff? Go.
Give me Alabama.
Okay.
Oklahoma.
Okay.
Give me Clemson.
Okay.
And Ohio State.
Okay. Who do you got winning the whole thing?
I gotta go with Boomer Sooner.
Okay.
I think this is finally the year we're going to win a college football playoff game. I hope to build that momentum up, and I hope they win that natty, but I'm going with the Sooners.
Okay. Emerson, what do you got?
Yeah, so I have Oklahoma winning the Big 12, making the college football playoff, obviously. I think it's going to be Ohio State from the Big 10, Bama from the SEC, and I think Clemson could falter against North Carolina. If North Carolina is who they say they are this year, and they can make it to the ACC championship, I think they can beat Clemson.
Okay. Okay.
So give me North Carolina as the 4 seed.
I like
I'm going
it.
to have Oklahoma against North Carolina in the first round, and then Bama, Ohio State, and then give me Oklahoma, Bama in the natty. Hold on, let me find my crimson and cream colored glasses here. I can't find them, but I'm picking Oklahoma to win the natty. It's finally time to get number 8. This is the team to do it.
All right.
So let's go. As long as we don't use any running backs.
Sounds good. Now, one more side note. All I'm going to say is agree or disagree. Okay? All I'm going to say. Nick, does Oklahoma have to go undefeated this year to make the playoff? If they have one loss, they do not make the playoff. So they have to go undefeated to make the playoff. Yes or no?
No, they don't.
No? Emerson, they have to go undefeated to make the playoff. Yes or no? No? Okay.
No.
Well, here's my playoff predictions, fellas. I got Oklahoma and 3 other teams. That's what I got. So at the end of the day, I got Oklahoma win the national championship. That's all that matters. So thanks for
That's the groundbreaking analysis you get on the Sooner Saloon podcast right there.
Fair enough. So thanks for watching, guys. This is our first episode of Sooner Saloon. We're gonna improve as we go. This has been a work in progress for a while now. We've been just kind of experimenting here. Nick, do you got anything else to say real quick before we wrap up?
I think it's going to be an awesome season. So excited for it. I know you guys are too. So
perfect. Emerson, what do you got?
I'm just excited for some football. Let's go. It's time to talking season's over. And if you want to interact with us, just send us an email at soonersaloon@gmail.com. It's very simple. Interact with us. We love talking to fans.
There we go. So wrapping it up, I'm Taylor Reed once again. This is Nick Reed, my brother, and this is Emerson Campbell, longtime friend of both of us. You're seeing us right now. At the end of the day, we couldn't have done it without Adam Murphy and Gabe Joyner back here. You can't see them right now. The camera will probably pan off to them. There we go. So like I said, without these 2 guys, we wouldn't be able to do what we're doing. So that being said, thanks for watching. Hopefully Oklahoma Tulane turns out how we like it. So we'll see you guys next week with episode number 2. Adios.